was listening.
Yep.
I'm
This
tired.
can go.
That's all the glass.
She was on videotaping.
Did it even help?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, I don't know.
You get extra sleep.
Did Terry talk to you about these yellow things here?
Yeah, scooping them out with a spoon.
They're really full, just to tell you.
Whoa.
So when it gets wet in there, you're gonna be able to take that spoon and just scoop it out. Okay, so this feels pretty cool. And I'm gonna pass it around to all of you so you can touch it.
We're gonna warm it up though.
But then it's not gonna be cold.
It'll be okay.
You got
Are you recording?
I said I'm recording.
Okay, so try not to do a lot of extra talk. So what we've done now is cool the slab. We want it to about 70 to 72 degrees. So I'm just gonna have the students just kind of feel how cool it is. Yes, it will get a little warmer now, but we don't have to worry about that, okay? If I was at chair set, I would have gloves on, a mask, and of course safety glasses, okay? Okay. So, let me get her.
Mercedes, come here.
Eyes on the prize.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is, this is zinc phosphate liquid and powder, and what we're gonna do is mix a very thin, kind of a glue type consistency, and that's called what? What is the,
Oh, that's the
Oh, it's the other one.
that's the base part.
Oh,
we talked about it, we have a base consistency and we have a what?
Runny one, liquidy one.
Like a glue type, which is what? Luting.
Luting, yeah.
Luting, okay? So we're gonna be mixing the luting consistency. And if you don't, some brands do come with a little dispenser, but if it doesn't, what you wanna do is lay out the size and thickness of a nickel.
Okay.
That's bigger than a nickel. No, grab a nickel.
Okay? And then what you're gonna do is divide it into half and then quarters. Okay? And then those quarters into eighths. And then those eighths into sixteenths. Okay? You're gonna shake your liquid because the liquid has what in it? There are two main ingredients in this liquid. What are they? What is it?
Zinc oxide and neutral.
This is zinc phosphate cement. It does not have eugenol in it.
Visualize the smooth one.
Zinc phosphate cement. It has an acid and it has water. What kind of acid does it have? It sounds kind of like the name of the material. Zinc phosphate. What kind of acid does it have?
Zinc.
Phosphoric acid, very good. Okay, we're gonna hold the bottle of liquid at a true upright position, and you're gonna drop 6 drops, and that's about the size material, or the drop size will be making enough for placing the cement in a permanent crown. We have a temporary crown right here, okay? But I just wanted to show you, we're gonna pretend that this is a permanent one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? And so the next thing you're gonna do is start taking small increments and just mixing it like so. You wanna use half of the spatula, like the lower part of the spatula if possible, and you wanna use 1/2 of the slab, okay? You mix in each increment for about 10 seconds, and you want to be able to mix this cement in about 1.5 to 2 minutes maximum. I always like to mix it in a little bit less than the maximum allowed, just because it gives you more time then to go ahead and put it into your crown and so on, okay? So I'm gathering the material from the edges, because the edges always stay kind of watery. So I want to make sure that I've got a nice, good, thorough, homogeneous mix, okay? So cooling down the slab allows us to have a cooler surface, which means we can get a longer mixing and setting time. And the material, we want to add as much powder as possible, because the more powder we have, the stronger the mix will be, okay? The less soluble and just overall stronger, all right? Now you want to check your consistency, because you don't want this real runny, but you want it kind of a glue-like consistency. So I'm going to gather it all up and check my consistency. And it's a little thin because it should go up a full inch before it breaks, okay? So we're going to add a little bit more. Do you know why I'm mixing it over a wide area of the slab?
To get an even mix.
No, but who,
To get an even mix.
no, not a bad,
All the way through.
not a bad reason. No,
To incorporate air in it?
no,
To make sure.
For it to thoroughly mix.
because this material, anytime you're dealing with materials with acid, many times they build up additional heat, okay? Now see how nice and creamy that is? And it raises about an inch before it breaks, okay? This would be the consistency that you want. The reason why we mix it over a wide area is to cut down on the exothermic heat. It's a chemical heat, okay? And then what you would do is you would take your plastic instrument and you would just slide that material. Now we already had a little cement in there already, but you would just slide that in there, okay? If this was a permanent crown, we would really just paint the inside of it with the cement, because remember, a custom crown or a permanent crown is made just for that patient, right? So we wouldn't want to necessarily overfill it. And then we would place it down onto, the doctor would place it down onto the patient's tooth.
We would
Okay.
just fill it for them.
You
and then
just
hand
fill it
over?
and then you pass it to the doctor. Then any excess squishes out. And as that sets, then as expanded duties for us, one of the expanded duty for dental assistants here in Minnesota is to remove excess cement. So we would remove that with different instruments, which you'll learn next semester, okay? Now, what I would do is, if you're gonna practice another one, I would just save this powder and just put it on a new slab, okay? But what we're gonna do is you could take an alcohol gauze and you could clean this up with an alcohol gauze, but I like to take this over to the sink and use warm water and just finger pressure, and it comes off like that. It actually works better to do that than it does the gauze and alcohol, okay? And that's mixing zinc phosphate cement, which is a permanent cement, in a luting consistency. Okay?
We should throw that on the internet.
All right.
That was good.